Hello. Here we are. My name's Brian, and we're going to look at my mom's YouTube today. Some of her podcasts that she's done for Cadillac Simply the Best are favorites of mine. I've seen them multiple times. A really good one is the Oops podcast. Brent Sigworth, he's a really good guy. Goal setting versus goal achieving. She talks about having routines and ordering it on lists of 10. Like 10 things you can do with your goals to achieve them faster. But hold on a second. Let's see here. Let's see. I don't think I watched that one, but the Public Library is great, and the Club Cadillac one is the one I really like because it's about a mental illness outreach program. But what I want to watch is the one I haven't seen yet. Is Michigan Innovation, another one, Coordinista. What is Coordinista? Mom's looking better every day. She's been working out and dieting. She's got this Rose Odette has I don't know if she cares if I share this, but she's got a Tony Robbins health plan where you pay money and they do a deep dive into your DNA and blood work and everything else, and they tailor a solution to aging and weight loss for you. But she's looking younger every day. I mean, I wish I could afford it. I think it's amazing. But Cindy Bauer, I haven't talked to Mom about what this is. We'll find out.
Hi, everybody.
Whoa,
this
that's too
is
loud.
Rose Odette with the Michigan Innovation Podcast, and today I'm super excited to welcome Cindy Bauer to the podcast. Welcome, Cindy.
Hello, glad to be here.
Yeah, and Cindy is with Coordinista, and it's a very innovative healthcare company that I am so stoked to talk about today from here in Michigan. Very, very cool. But as we do in every single one of our podcasts, is that we really like to get to know the entrepreneur, the founder, the startup, the person with the courage to really go forward with such a big venture. And so that's what we're going to do first. Cindy, if you could just let us know a little bit about yourself, where are you from?
I like how she introduced a little bit more about the person and what they do. Like she said, it was a healthcare company and that it's in Michigan. I like that she commented on that, so I'm not left wondering. And then, the backstories are always interesting. It's like, who are you? Where did you come from? A lot of times, they're not even from Michigan. These amazing entrepreneurs come here for, because we have the best nature, the best people, the best. It really is a comfy place to live, is Northern Michigan. Okay, let's go.
How did you get your start? And just a little bit more about Cindy.
Yeah, thanks. Oh my goodness, you said courage, and I think that's so apt and applicable to startup founders. You do have to have this, element of courage, right, to take this on. And I would think honestly, when we're looking at origin stories, and when I think of that,
it does take courage because you have to have the grit to have the idea. You have to have the inspiration. You have to have the idea, the grit, the bravery to believe in yourself and to know that everything's going on the line, because a lot of times you're giving up pretty good income to start your own business. A lot of times people that start their own business could have a cushy job where maybe they don't get as much out of life as they would if they had their own idea, but they took the bravery to start their own idea and sink or swim on their own merit. And it does take courage.
that courage, it starts before me, and it makes me think of my dad, who's immigrant from Germany, and my grandma, who actually across the border between East and West Germany. Yeah, during World War II, and that's courage. And and so I guess I got a little bit of it in my DNA. And then my dad ended up starting his own business, tool and die industry in Michigan. And so I got to grow up and see that, and be a part of that. And he always taught me you can do anything if you work hard enough. So that's the beginning of my roots. And then I went on to be a speed skater, nationally competitive speed skater. So I always seem to just start off looking at the world with challenging, going after the hard stuff, I guess.
Wow, a speed skater, and what a great history. You've got your family as. So are you what they consider second generation?
I think so. My dad immigrated here when he was 12.
Oh, that's amazing. I think that's just great. Just now, did he have an accent?
So often, that's what made America. Let's just talk about immigrants for a while. It's coming from Germany. I'm not gonna talk about the current. I don't. It occurs to me, immigration is a hot issue now. But anyways, the immigrants that come here to America usually do believe in their dreams, and they believe that in America you can achieve. That's why they came here. It's because it's the land of opportunity, right? Okay.
He did, and it's interesting, Rose. I wanted to learn German and all of that, but he had, if you can imagine, some really difficult times. He was actually born in Yugoslavia, and they were kind of run off their lands, and so they were refugees throughout World War II, moving around to different places. And so his accent, in some ways, bothered him, right?
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah.
Yeah. So only till later on in life did he start to seem more comfortable.
That reminds me of a really good book. There's a really good book called Homeland by John Jakes, about a German immigrant, and he goes to the Chicago World's Fair in 1893. But he emigrates to Chicago to be with family, and Paulie, his name's Paul in the book, and Paul Kroner. I love that book, but so in the book he's German too, and he's embarrassed by having the accent. So that's what it reminds me of. I always like to recommend and talk about books. It's just something I do.
So, yeah.
Well, that's really interesting. And then tell us a little bit more about the speed skating. That's a unique, I watch it in the Olympics, but I've never met a speed skater before. How did that happen?
Yeah, and actually I should have prefaced it by saying roller speed skating, and not ice, which they're the same, just different, on your feet in different locations, I guess. But, so we had a local rink, and I was always very athletic, and I started, doing those little races, and I found out I was pretty good at it, and then we happened to have one of the nation's most competitive coaches and teams where I lived, and so I joined the team, and with their strong training ethic and everything, quickly went up to compete across the country. And my highlight was I won. It's called Junior Olympic National Champion, and then it qualified me to train at the Olympic Training Center. So
wow.
I actually
Is
got
that in Colorado?
Yeah,
right.
Colorado Springs. And so at 16, I got to fly over to the OTC and train there with the world team for a little while, and it was a super cool experience. And I learned a lot about, when you fall, the race isn't over, you get back up, and it's not done till you cross that finish line. So
yeah, that is a wonderful story. My background, I had some competition in my early years. We showed dogs, and then I was in some other competition later in my teens, and it really sets you up for that mindset that, hey, I'm going to give this a shot. I'm going to do this. I'm going to give this a shot.
That's true. I want to recommend something else. Like, everyone's free to wear sunscreen. Sunscreen is a YouTubeable thing. It's a graduation speech for the class of '98, I think, to somewhere '99, something like that, by somebody. And life is long, and the race isn't over until it's over. It's like there's no guarantee. Like, I could end up with a higher net worth than someone who's been working for the last 16 years if I put my mind to the grindstone and we're able to.
Hey Brian,
What?
Becky just wanted to let you know that she got your voicemail.
Okay. Does she want to talk to me?
She will be in the office again on Wednesday, she said.
Okay.
And I think she plans on talking to you then.
All right. Anyways, the is life's not over, and if I put put my ideas into motion for the rest of my life, I could be a millionaire. I really do believe that it's possible. I'm smart. I'm eloquent. I'm handsome. I can do it. I can do it. I'm gonna cry here, but it's like people try to hold me back, to my past mistakes, and I know I made a mistake, but I can't be guilty forever. I gotta move on.
Fast forward to went to school at U of M for nursing, and then ICU nurse, oncology nurse, some hospice, long-term care, and then care management transitions to care was what I've done most recently. And in between that, I spent about 6 years using technology in a completely different industry, running campaigns and ballot initiatives, and got very good at that. And that technology.
I have some experience with campaigning back when I was a canvasser for a environmental protect nonprofit. That's where you knock on doors and bug people. But when I was not knocking on doors and wasn't knocking on doors and bugging people, I was campaigning on the phones for John Kerry, who was running against George W. Bush, second term. But I still like John Kerry, and I really could go on and on about how the Swiftfoot veterans were the first cancel culture. But anyways, let's go.
In doing that, deploying volunteers really all over the state to do like telephonic and then door-to-door types of campaigns, taught me a lot about decentralized deployment of teams in the field. And then I was recruited back into nursing for an integrated care organization that was providing telephonic and in-home type of care management services across large territories with limited resources. So very similar, so in a decentralized deployment model. So 40, 50 nurses covering a population of 6,000 members. And we didn't have any of the same technology tools that in healthcare as I just got done using in that other industry. So I saw Rose, like nurses, we were crisscrossing each other across counties, wasting all this time, completely unorganized. We had no visibility of where our members were going to be. I would drive 50 miles one day.
Okay, so Coordinista, not Coordinista. Coordinista, like coordinate. I get it. I'm stupid. Okay, coordinate the nurses, coordinate the healthcare. I did a little work at my mom's company, Blueware, back in the day. It's called Awake Technologies now, but we did some return on investments on the ground at the NHS. I did that in Portsmouth and in London at Chelsea Westminster, and let me tell you, healthcare needs coordination everywhere, not just in Michigan.
To do a assessment, and then the next day find myself in the same neighborhood doing another assessment down the street. I could have done them on the same day had I known, and I was just amazed at the lack of tools. And so, but we're using best-in-class software. And
So let's break that down a little bit on the problem. So, in my experience, I used to work for IBM Corporation, and we always had this dilemma in IBM. Should we focus on cross-industry, which is technology that goes into every single industry, or should we work in a vertical? And
A little bit more about that is IBM has gone cross-industry. IBM anymore is cross-industry. Like I'm in a few IBM Discords, and what they talk about is the Z mainframe, which is the new mainframe replace. I don't know if it replaces the AS400 or if it's just a new software. I think it's a new mainframe that's scalable more than the AS400 was to large and small hospitals and factories and things like that, like big places with a lot of users. You need a lot of users. You need a lot of big server like that. IBM has the Z mainframe, and I'm in one Discord for that, and also they do the Linux integration now. They do a lot of things for cross industry and for programming that I'm aware of. But this is running on kind of long, and I like to keep my videos shorter. So check this out. I'll put a link to this video in the description, and if this is interesting to you, go ahead and check it out. Cindy Bauer, Coordinista. I'm gonna watch this in my own time, but like I got interrupted there for a second, so I gotta go talk to the person who knocked on my door and check it out and see how things are going. So I'm going to go ahead and publish this. Thank you for checking in. Here's we did 8 minutes, 7:59, 8 minutes of Mom's podcast on Michigan innovation, and I think she's improving every day. Every podcast, she's learning, she's growing, she's adapting. She's doing her Tony Robbins, she's doing her Brian Tracy. She's adapting to the situation on the ground, and her podcasts just get better and better. She gets more smooth and more enjoyable every time. So props to Rose for that, and we'll end this now. Okay, thank you.